Hey guys, welcome to my review of the Elite 45 Roman Reigns, the dog. Haha, y'all got pranked. I'm actually reviewing the Elite 45 Seth Rollins, and here's the cool thing about Seth Rollins. He can wear any type of clothes, any style, any color, and he looks really cool. And when he came out, SummerSlam 2015, belt versus belt against John Cena, wearing this attire, oh my gosh, I think everyone got super excited because he looked so cool in the white. But it took forever for Mattel to finally put out this figure, over a year. But now we have it, and he also includes a shiny belt, which I've been waiting for with the new logo on it. And how amazing is Seth Rollins? He's a great wrestler. He's the CrossFit Jesus. And last but not least, he went to school for architecture. Dude can build your house and then curb stomp you through the cinder blocks that are the foundation. So I infamously made a custom of the Seth Rollins. Yo, let's do a little side comparison here so you can see how mine isn't as bad as I thought it was. There are some quality control issues that I'm seeing with the Mattel that kind of seem like I made a better one. Not really. This one has much cleaner lines and all that jazz. But as I mentioned, there are some quality control issues, so let's hit it up. Quality control, baby. Ugh. So personally, I think other than those paint flaw issues and the quality control issues, I think this is a stand-up Seth Rollins figure. Although every time I review Seth Rollins with this body mold, I always point out how the legs are wrong. People in the comments tell me that I'm an idiot. But yo, check out the screenshot that proves that he has bigger legs and that these legs are super disappointing because they're super thin and Seth Rollins is a big guy. I think it's time for Mattel to make a better mold for legs. You know, not give him big E legs that are ridiculously crazy, but something a little wider than these. He comes with a removable vest. I also do want to point out that he has those little dots on the belt, which are cool, and I do like how his wristbands have that nice little bit of silver that is shiny. Yo, but let's do some comparisons with some pictures of the event. Here he is at the front, and you can see that they actually did a pretty darn good job other than the skinny legs. And that's pretty good if you ask me, but you want to see more? Let's check out the back. I think they did a good job there too. Something I missed when I was doing my fig hack. I don't know why I didn't just go and look at that up, but this is cool to have it. And the lines are a lot cleaner and a lot thinner than my custom. And you know what? Looking at the comparison, my custom wasn't bad. But when you have a computer printing onto these things, it comes out so much better. But one thing I am noticing that's kind of weird, the printing on the vest, it doesn't match up with the sculpt. So instead of going with the design on the sculpt, it just awkwardly prints over it. And I don't know why they did that. It doesn't really look that good, in my opinion, once you really notice it. It's like one of those, once you notice it, you can't unsee it. So sorry if I ruined that for you, but it doesn't look good. I don't know if that's a paint flaw thing. I don't know if it's a manufacturing error. I don't know what it is, but now that I saw it, I can't unsee it, and it does not look good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is a piece of photo. So let's take off his vest. So here he is with it off. He has a very buff body. You know what? I'm kind of thinking it would have been cool if they incorporated a bit of a hairy chest, because he did at that time. What about armpit hair? I'm just kidding. There's no way they'd throw that in. But this is a suitable body mold, I think. He got his tattoo on the back of it, and it's suitable. You know, I don't see any problem with it. Overall, though, if I'm having this on display, I'm definitely going to keep the vest on. So if you had a fine eye when looking at this earlier, you would have seen that it came pre-opened. I don't know if you can actually close this thing, which seems a bit like a negative. Yeah, I tried for like 30 seconds to close it, and for an action figure, I think that's too long. I think something like a toy should be simple. Easy to close, but it's not. So always have them face in front. All right, let's check out this belt. It's nice and shiny. Oh boy, does that look nice. Anyone gonna make a Universal Championship with this? I don't know, but I'm so glad that they finally dropped a couple buckaroos and gave us some nice shiny belts. I have no problems with this. It's so nice. And here's the moment I think everyone's been waiting for. The Tommy gets uber critical in my reviews. When I'm critical, people love to say like, oh yeah, well, I'd like to see you try to make a figure. You know, Mattel tries their hardest. And I think that's such a poor criticism, a poor thing to point out to someone who's critiquing. So take this. Let's say you had dinner. Your mom made it for you. It tasted terrible, but you don't cook. But you still know it's bad. And to critique something, you don't have to partake in the creation. And I feel like that's a super flawed argument that people always try and start when people give critiques. But the thing is, I did make a figure like this. So I can turn it around and tell all those people that say like, oh, well, why don't you try to make it if you don't like it so much? I don't like this so much. So much. I like it, but not so much. Why? Because the paint flaws and quality control issues really bring it down for me. Like, this is white, clean, pristine, sterile Seth Rollins, but instead it's stained in some areas, and it really detracts from the figure. And yeah, I know I complain about the legs. I complain about the legs all the time. But really the problem with this is the problem that I'm seeing constantly in the WWE Elite lines. It's just that there's no quality control. And that for something like SASHA Banks, I was upset. But this one I'm really upset because having a white body will show the smallest detail of quality control issues, paint flaws. And this I'm seeing a lot more than I should be seeing. You know, a little paint here and there, because I painted it myself, and I did get like a thumbprint here and there, but I covered it up. But something like that, it's just uncalled for. And really, Mattel needs to start trying harder to get these good figures out to us, because they're not innovating, they're not developing new articulation, they're kind of staying the same, except the quality is going downhill and the prices are going uphill. Now, would I pay $5 more to have a clean version of this? No, because I'm already paying $20, which is the industry standard for something that isn't really up to the industry standard. And it's not up to what Mattel was producing a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and hell no compared to when Mattel started. So am I being a bit ranty? Probably. But this is a figure we've waited so long for. Over a year. I don't know why it took that long. I think this is like the simplest release. But we got something flawed. Yeah, it looks cool. It looks good. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy it. But the paint flaws, yo, that's really unnecessary. And it's something that they should not have. But for some reason, people just say, oh, it's a paint flaw, just paint over it. That's not my job. People just give excuses to Mattel for them to continue giving us flawed products. And I know I'm going off this rant, but I know I'm just going to keep buying them to review. And that's the state of reviews, I guess. I'm not that pleased with this figure. I think I talked way too long about it. Hopefully I went over the 10-minute mark, because then I can throw in extra YouTube revenue monies to get over 10 a bajillion, kapillion, a bonuses. But overall, yo, I think if I could make this better, I would have, if I was in charge of Mattel, I would have been like, yo, please don't have paint flaws. And also I would have thrown in another open hand and given him the United States belt, because that was such a significant time in Seth Rollins' career. Instead, we just got one belt, which is fine. But considering Roman Reigns also came with it too, if you get the whole set and Seth Rollins came with the United States belt, you could have done both. Yeah, this is what we should have got. 2 belts. Yeah, I know this is the wrong belt. My bad, y'all got prank part 2. But who was it that came with 2 belts and a vest? Someone did. Was it Cody Rhodes? I kind of remember that happening. Because 2 belts better than 1. And I know that the tag team belts just are simple. They only have that one, no paint application on it, just the gold. But I feel like for Seth Rollins, go big or go home. He's one of the greatest wrestlers of our time. He's up there with the greats, like Big Show. Figure is not, it's weird because I want to recommend it, but I don't want to recommend it because of the paint flaws and what it stands for. Capiche?